Hi, I'm Rachel with 7 in All, and today I'm here to talk to you about my preschool schedule, homeschool preschool schedule for my 2-year-old. My little boy is almost 2 years old, and it's a brand new year, and I'm excited to this year be adding a little bit of structure to our activities and our priorities throughout the day. If you have toddlers and babies, you know that a day can feel very long, but at the same time, sometimes you get to the end of your day and you're not even really sure what happened. And you're not sure if you met your goals or what you were hoping to accomplish during the day, just because taking care of toddlers is a whirlwind all of its own. But this year, not that I want to do schoolwork or set aside 3 hours every day to work on schoolwork with my 2-year-old. I am not a tiger mom, but at the same time I wanted to add structure. I wanted to have some way to remind myself of what my priorities are throughout the day and throughout the week with my little boy. So I made a little schedule, and I am a little bit old-fashioned analog. You could certainly do this on the computer, you could make a printable, but I just sketched it out in a notebook, and this is the cute notebook that my younger sister, Mary Grace, made for me and gave me for Christmas. If you like her art, you can follow her on Instagram, MGS Illustrates. That kid is gonna go far. She's about to start art school in college. But anyways, she gave me this notebook for Christmas, and I am not one to let a cute notebook sit on the shelf unused because I can't think of any way to use it. I can think of ways to use cute notebooks. So I used this to make my homeschool schedule, and I'll show you a close-up later, but I chose 6 priorities for our days, and then just made space throughout the week. So I have a small space at the top. I can write down the date or day of the week. And then I have enough space in each of my categories that I can make a note of what type of activity we did within that category, so that I can see as the days pass by if I'm having variety in my activities, what I've done a lot of recently, what I might need to switch to doing something else because we haven't practiced much of that. And here you can see a close-up of how I have set up and drawn out my schedule. And now I'm going to take some time to go over the different categories that I chose. First category is outdoors. I think spending time in the outdoors is incredibly important for young children, a really great part of development and just of childhood. I grew up actually on a farm. My family had 7 acres of land. I was always outside running around in the dirt. But we live in a very urban area. We live in a small apartment, don't have our own yard. So I need to be a little bit more intentional to really make sure I'm taking the opportunity to take my boys outside every day. I'm going to the park, going to the communal garden area in our apartment compound, or going to the beach, or different places like that. I want to try to get outdoors into different environments every day. The second category is drawing. And I wrote down drawing because that's what my son calls it. Every time he sees pens or pencils or crayons, he says, draw, draw. That's what he wants to do. But this will be art in general. It will sometimes be painting or using glue sticks or different tools on different days. My son's favorite thing to draw with is pens and pencils, because he's not even 2 yet, but he knows pens and pencils are for big people. Therefore, they are way more interesting than crayons for babies. So obviously he prefers to draw with pens and pencils. But getting some time working on the drawing motor skills every day, doing different types of art activities. Third one, the classic for toddlers, school, reading stories. And I can keep note of what different storybooks we're reading. If we're reading library books or our own books, I try to keep a mix throughout our week. And fourth category is sensory activities. I think this is a bit of a trendy name these days, but it encompasses a lot of different activities. This will be water play, or playing with pom-poms, playing with ice, bubbles, Play-Doh, anything that's a little bit more messy, just intentional, using different senses, experimenting, practicing motor skills. I think these are really fun. 2-year-old is a really key age to do this kind of stuff. I don't go overboard. I don't rainbow color rice because to me, rice is something that we eat, and I'm not gonna put a whole bag of it into rainbow colors so that we can't eat it. But I do enjoy sensory activities, and so does my son. So that will be part of our daily schedule. Also, Spanish. My husband is the Spanish-speaking parent in our family, so he's the one who primarily speaks Spanish with the boys. But I also want to make sure that I'm doing something in Spanish with them at some point in the day, which maybe that will be incorporated into reading stories. We've built up a good collection of Spanish children's books, picture books, or maybe I will attempt to play a game or lead an activity with him using primarily Spanish vocabulary. I've taken classes in Spanish, but I'm not so comfortable at having a full-on conversation in the language, but I can keep up with a 2-year-old. So it's good practice for me, and it's good for the boys as well. And our final category, I wasn't sure exactly what to call it, but I wrote down living well with others. At 2 years old, they really need to begin building social skills, building obedience skills. They're experimenting with who they are, who other people are, how to relate well with others. Toddlers, we know, tend to be selfish at first, and they need to learn how to not consider their own selves and their own ways more important than anyone else's desires. So this is where we will work on different skills, like holding hands nicely while walking with mom or dad, or sharing toys with friends and brothers, or picking up toys and putting them away, reshelving our books after story time, taking dishes and putting them in the sink, helping mom do the laundry, basically skills of being helpful, skills of listening and being considerate to others, being gentle with others, with the baby brother who's much younger and you gotta not play quite so rough with him. So these are our 6 categories, and my plan is to just have this schedule as a guideline so that I can see, am I hitting each category roughly every day? When we have a long day of us at home, this will give me some structure of, what haven't I done yet today? I haven't spoken any Spanish today. I haven't done any activity involving Spanish. Let's work something like that in. Or we haven't had any kind of messy play, hands-on sensory activities. Let's pull out the Play-Doh. So that's my plan. As the year goes on, I'll start filling in my schedule, and we'll see how this will go. I'm really looking forward to it. I think toddlers are a very intense age, but they're also a really fun age. They learn so fast. And you'll notice I didn't put down as my priorities learning the ABCs, learning colors, learning shapes, learning numbers, because to me, at this age, that's not my priorities. Those are more specific areas that will certainly come up as we read stories or as we do sensory activities. They might be designed around those, and we will be building that vocabulary in English and in Spanish. But those are kind of side issues, and especially at 2 years old, I don't care if he can say the alphabet. I'm not focusing on counting or numbers at this point, but just focusing on building these overall comprehension skills, problem-solving skills, motor skills for holding pens and pencils, and relational skills that will all work together to be refined and used later on in life. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching. I'm very excited, and talk to you next time about more homeschool stuff. Bye!